is my slam time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my slam time. Gonna mess up your whole mind. This is my slam time. Gonna mess up your behind. This is my slam time. Gonna mess up your whole mind.
Hello and welcome back to another EWA Classic match. I can't remember what I called this series. I think it's just Classic Matches. Let me have a look on the channel. Yep, Classic Matches. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Great intro. Welcome back. I'm joined as always by Taylor Osborne.
Yes.
And we are watching a match with Taylor Osborne. So as a reminder, before we get into
More
anything,
breakdown.
last time we saw Taylor, he was facing Garcia Guerrero, and we had possibly the biggest pop I've ever heard either of us do, and it was both of us for the finish of that match. So go back and give it a watch. But it was an unclean finish, safe to say. So the next week on ECW, which is Extreme Cruiserweight Wrestling in EWA law, there was a rematch due between Garcia and Taylor Osborne. Ignore this name over here. This is nothing. Don't worry about that. So yeah, we're going to watch the rematch 1 week later today. So you looking forward to it, Taylor?
Oh, hell yeah. Especially considering we found the promo that sets up why the health bars look like they do.
Yeah, can you remind me? Because like I noticed he's got dark red leg damage, but I don't recall the... I'm guessing it was a pre-match attack or something?
Yeah. Basically, you had Garcia there, using wonderful language that we won't go over. Going on about, the I guess we got to say it, so like the appearance of, Jane.
Yeah. We gave people fair warning to go back and watch it. It's fine.
Yes,
Spoilers are broken now.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But yeah, Taylor's twin sister shows up and, he's there running his mouth saying how blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. The only reason Taylor won was because of that. And, again, colourful language, like, it's like, oh my God, like, I'm glad we weren't going back and using that stuff to go over.
Yeah, because I'd have had to filter a lot of that in the promo.
That would have been just one big, like, there would have been a portion there where it was just like the censor buttons being pressed.
Just grabs the microphone, starts talking, it's just...
Yeah.
For the whole promo.
Censor over his mouth and everything. But basically, Taylor walks in, he pokes a bit of fun at him, sort of has a laugh that he's, an incompetent baboon, basically. Again, to clean up what Taylor sort of refers to him as, because it's still not that great. It's not language, but it's still not that great.
Content warning.
Yeah. and then Jane appears behind him and smacks him in the leg with a baseball bat, and the pair of them go off laughing their ass off, skipping. At this point, like, we were trying to build Taylor as like the most vile heel. Like he was I can't remember what sort of heel we had in mind as far as wrestling goes, but we were really trying to build him as not just a cowardly heel. Like he was a deceiving, like everything had a plan. Like nothing you sort of can bank on, because always had some sort of plan in the back pocket.
Yeah, a plan B, then a plan C, then a plan D, then sort of almost a first heel turn Seth Rollins kind of thing, where it was cowardly, but it was cowardly for a reason as well. It was like, I'm going to move away from this fight, and then they're like, coward, and then they get hit in the back of their head with something, and it's like, no, I just saw that coming. Actually.
That's it.
Kind of thing, yeah.
But yeah, that's why you can sort of see the pause menu here at the beginning of the match, and the red leg damage, and, it's the way it is. It was the setup, like, he's crippled. He's walked out here crippled, basically.
Yeah, so for anyone who has never tried to do this sort of thing before, basically, we wanted interference, spoilers. So you have to set it up as a triple threat. There's no interference option online in WWE 2K games so far. Fingers crossed for 2K22. I doubt it though. But also, there's also no handicap option where you can like set damage before the match. So you just have to outright do the match until the point where you've got the damage on that you want. Then you both move back to your respective corners, and then you start the recording, which is what we're seeing here now, basically.
Look at the look on the referee's face right there. You can see how bored he is.
I noticed, by the way, that he's still got 52% momentum and you've taken damage, despite the fact I assumed this was set up just for you to beat him down until he had red leg damage, then move to your corners and begin.
I'll be honest. This is what happens when you're dealing with people that sort of like, oh, I'm too used to countering moves. It's like, just get your ass kicked and deal with it.
Just put your controller down. Like, there's no excuse. Just put your controller down, like, and just take the beating. There's no pride on the line here. Like, it's scripted, this bit. Like, EWA is 90% legit results, but we do scripted stuff to carry a storyline forward. And usually the conclusion of a storyline will definitely be unscripted, but there might be scripted moments on the way to get you to that conclusion. And this was one of them. So, you just have to leave your ego at the door. We've all done it. I've lost matches on purpose, over EWA history. I'm sure you've lost plenty on purpose and plenty by accident.
And not purpose.
Yeah. But I think without further ado... we'll carry on talking about it, but this match is only 5 minutes long, so we might as well just crack on with it and have a nice short episode of classic matches. So let's begin. But yeah, go on. What was you going to say about it?
It's one of those things that you sort of it's that gamer ego. It's hard to sort of get over. It's less of an ego, like I want to win or all the rest of it. Like, look at that. He's meant to have a buffed up leg and he just kips up.
Yeah. By the way, I love the fact that he ran over, missed the dropkick, and you immediately hit him in the leg. That was so poetic for like how the match is supposed to have been set up. That was beautiful.
I've somehow managed to turn my gamer ego, and I think it was, I'll give you your credit right now, I think it's due to you showing up and us starting to do this sort of thing, because before I would have that gamer ego and I'd be very much like, no, that was almost the UTO.
Good counter for the UTO, step back and kick you as you jump into it. That was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. But I got so into gotta work as the character. As more Osborne matches show up, you'll see I get more and more and more into like just the character. Almost like I'm.
We saw that move in the last video, the one with Osborne. We didn't see that one though. that was not a cruiserweight match, and this one is.
Apparently, I didn't see that move either.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
But yeah, you definitely went less for the win and more for the character, I think, as EWA got on, which may have been detrimental to Taylor, honestly, but in terms of results and position on the card. But I think had we been uploading from day one, I think he would easily have been one of the most popular characters because just of the character work that you put into him compared. And this is no disrespect to a lot of the other players, but a lot of the other players still very much play to win. And so I think that would have helped Taylor be like, if we had a merch store and a YouTube channel from the start, you'd have been selling merch twice what anyone else was. Oh, good kick out though. And right off cue, here comes Miles. There goes Miles! What a debut. That was his debut. I think that's his first ever appearance in EWA. He just got clotheslined out of the ring. So yeah, for anyone not sure what was happening there, Miles is Taylor's backup plan. Jane was kicked out of the arena, I believe, after the attack on Garcia, so she wasn't an option for Taylor to win this one. Yes. So now Miles is going to enter and exit the ring several times and run around.
We are literally...
Oh, good dot. Oh, hello. Oh! Oh, this is amazing. Oh, what's he doing? Oh, I'm done. Oh, so not quite as fluid as the Jane interference, shall we say?
Gonna be tough for him to fight back from this.
What I was about to say sort of works into all this so perfectly. What everyone's watching right here is the first iteration of Fun Hinge.
Yep.
And it's working beautifully because if you see the current Fun Hinge and when we go, you can't even make any rhyme or reason of what the hell's going on there. Like, we have a running gag. Is it a Fun Hinge match if they don't hit each other?
Yeah, but... Oh my god, like that was just amazing. He managed to do 3 low bridges to eliminate someone from the ring once, which is just incredible. And one of them was after he'd gone over the top rope. Just absolutely spectacular. Oh, I forgot about that move. Is that still in the game? Because bring that back. That's an awesome move.
No, I got flipping and kicking, and you gotta love this. Like,
why is he
interfering the match? He's not lit. And this, I'm not in headset with him. It's so like you can probably imagine me screaming at the TV right now. You can feel it in Taylor, like the way he's walking around. It's like disbelief, like what the hell's going on?
Just
like yeah.
oh,
Like,
look at that! You accidentally punch at him a couple of times, and he instantly turns on you. It's like I'll fight you. Then it's like no. And we talked last time about the potential for a tag division in EWA. Therein lies the exact problem. You hit him, or almost hit him by accident once, and he immediately tried to turn on you. That's the problem. Is accidents happen in video games, and people need to like not break up a team over an accident, but it does tend to happen. So.
Oh god, and we've gone through that. People may be sitting there watching this going, "Oh, that doesn't really happen." No, we have dealt with tag teams that were doing great. Some silly little thing will happen in a match. Suddenly, we're getting messages. I don't want to wrestle with that guy anymore. Why not? He hit me. It's like, wait, are you being legit? Yes, I hate him now. Like, what the hell?
And then Taylor laughs right on cue. There we go.
Oh yeah,
he heard you. But yeah, so this is like Taylor said, the formation of Unhinged. I mean, Taylor and Jane don't really count; they're just brother and sister. But now it's someone from outside the fold coming in. I think he tried for that kick out. I think he legit tried for that. But there you go. So Taylor gets another one over on Garcia Guerrero. So you can see what we're building up here, where Taylor's constantly got like a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. He's gonna. Oh, hello. Let's get.
Oh, look at.
Let's get. Whatever that guy who's now with Kim Kardashian's called. Let's get him off the screen. But yeah, it's sort of like we're building that story in ECW. Garcia was the wasn't he the authority figure, the on-screen authority figure as well?
No, Mercer was, I think.
Oh, Mercer was. Okay.
Garcia was like his favored
sort
of thing, like his chosen champion, I guess you can put it.
But as a face, which is looking back quite a weird thing. But yeah.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, it's like this is where I started to develop a real fun little trait I've got with Taylor with all my promos. He doesn't actually call anyone by their name unless they're in Unhinged.
Yeah.
So, you know, for those Simpsons fans out there, yes, he was called Cherry Garcia. It just probably from a Simpsons episode. I'm like, I'm using that, and it just went from there. And I have come up with some names that have just been sitting there going, "Oh, that's just gold."
Yeah. Like, if you have a first name or a surname that's ever been anyone famous ever, you've probably been called it by Taylor. Like. Honestly,
yeah,
because you know it's just a natural thing, and like anyone who's ever watched, I don't mean to plug my own stuff here, but I'm definitely going to. Like I do D&D on stream sometimes, and I decided to use some of that because my character's chaotic neutral, which is kind of how I see Taylor. Like is not. Even as a babyface, he's not really doing it to be a good guy. He's just doing it because that happens to be the most convenient thing at the time. You know, like, so, like, I see him as properly chaotic neutral, and I was trying to channel that in a way, like, to be chaotic neutral, so I was like, I'm just going to steal that so I feel a bit Taylorish, you know, while I'm doing it. So I, like, one guy wears a wolf kiln thing on his head, you know, from like a wolf he's killed, you know, and da-da-da-da-da, like, you know, that's his backstory. Yeah. So I just call him Wolf Boy all the time, and he's like, my name's such a thing. I'm like, okay, Wolf Boy. And like, it just, you know, like, it just disregard that he has a name and he's correcting me, you know, and just like I've just sort of started, like, it's not as creative as a lot of Taylors, but I didn't want it to be like overly thought out. I just want it to be like an impulse thing, like, when I look at that character, what do I think? And then I just said it, you know, kind of thing. So
I put thought into them.
Yeah, well, no, yours were, they were like references and stuff, whereas mine were more just like, look at the character, what's the first word or words that come to mind, and that's what they're called now, you know, kind of thing instead. So it's a little bit more impulsive, but still the same general concept. I think it's a great idea, and I'm really looking forward to like Taylor promos in 2K22. Where he's calling people those things, because honestly, if we do ever set up a merch store, merch opportunities, like everyone can have a second shirt which is just their nickname at the hands of Taylor. Like, honestly, you know, and you and them can split the money because it's your nickname for their character, so you can just split the proceeds.
I'm like turning into a catchphrase machine with Taylor, honestly. Like Taylor, like, look, sign off from my Twitch channel. For, you know, you're going to plug your stuff, I'm going to do it too, damn it.
Yeah.
The sign-off people here, where I say Osborne away, actually came from a promo I did in EWA where he was mocking someone whose surname was Reeves, and I just went, "You're Christopher Reeves. Hello, Superman." And I threw the microphone up after saying Osborne away.
See, I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
So, yeah, it's sort of like, I've adapted it because when it hit the promo, I actually got people messaging back going, "That is great. That is just the most brilliant send-off anyone has ever heard." Just like Osborne away, and he just runs off.
I know who you're talking about, though, if it was Reeves. That's what I said. If you've got a surname that anyone famous has ever had, that's you, because it was a character called AJ Reeves, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So you got Christopher Reeves because, hey, that's the same name. I'm going to use that.
And you sort of said put thought into it. Like, I wish, that's what I mean by I wish I could say I could put in thought. Like, I'll be there writing the promo, and that's when it'll hit me. It's like, I don't really, there's been a few that I've looked at and went, oh, how can I turn that? Because the first few things I think I was like, I can't write that on Facebook. But
yeah, we do have promos on Facebook, so we do have some limitations on what we can say, because we don't want to get banned for 30 days and not be able to like participate in EWA because we can't comment on the posts.
Yeah, that's exact. We've had people that happen. It's like, can't Matt put me on the match card? Why not? Because I'm in Facebook jail. It's like, really?
Yeah, I've had people like DM me their match videos and say, "Can you put it in the group? I'm in Facebook jail." I'm like, okay.
Great when you're dealing with that, but no, I'm honestly on big summary with the whole Taylor thing, because we can really expand out and we can get away from it. I'm really looking forward to when we sit down and actually go into this character like we've talked about before, like we want to, because the layers and the metamorphoses and all the evolutions that happens from this version that you see right here. And a lot of you have seen the sort of later Taylor, and they're probably sitting there going, what the hell is this?
That's me.
Like,
That's me right there.
Yeah. The way we get there is amazing. And I really want to talk about how the discussions that you and I had when you were first turning to me going, you're a babyface. Because that's just,
It was so funny. The conversation was, we need to turn Taylor face, and then you were like, he'll never be a babyface, and I just like, he already is. Like, what you on about? He already is. Like, there is no he won't be. He is.
And it took a bit, but once I sort of like got over that little like hump I had in my head, I was sort of like, no, because I always had that whole thing what you hear wrestlers always say, all fun to be a heel. I was thinking to myself, I can't do what I'm doing as a face. And that whole Christopher Reeves thing was at the height of Taylor's face turn and all the rest of it. I have discovered I'm having a lot more fun as promos with this character as a face, because he's turning to the crowd and interacting with the kids. He's
I think that's the point. That might be the turning point. And again, we'll talk about this in a lot more detail, but I seem to remember there being a conversation where you were like, I won't be able to do the same stuff. And I was like, you are literally the epitome of a character that needs to change nothing to turn heel or face. Like, you can literally change nothing and just start going against heels and people will cheer you, and then you start going against faces and people will boo you. Like, you are that character perfectly. Like, like the epitome of a tweener in a way, but not a tweener, because you're never halfway between the two. You're always one or the other. It's just very easy to turn you. Like,
oh yeah. When he's heel, as you saw there, it's like the steel chair goes on the leg.
Yeah, but Taylor could do that as a babyface to a heel and everyone would cheer. Like, no one cares.
Oh yeah,
Taylor's fine.
I'm pretty sure they cheered in that one.
Yeah, probably.
Like Taylor seems like the only one that knew what he was doing.
But yeah, so another fun one, and I think the next match. Don't quote me on this, guys. If something else gets uploaded next, then sorry about that. But I think the next match is going to be the pay-per-view match between Taylor and Garcia not to culminate the feud, but like the progression of the feud. So at the first ECW big show instead of just weekly show, and it's going to be Taylor and Miles against Garcia and a mystery partner. And yeah, that tells you all you need to know. That sound this is where Fun Hinge really kicks off, in my opinion, because it gets stupid from this point. Like, funny stupid, like good stupid, but it's stupid, and it was great fun. I have really fond memories of this period of Fun Hinge, like booking them,
it's 'cause when
and So good.
You and I would be up for hours and we'd be messaging each other back and forth, going, "Oh, what about blah blah blah?"
So,
like, "Oh yeah, but we
again,
can do this with it too."
To break the fourth wall, at the time I had an office job where I sat in the corner of an office where no one could see my computer screen and could really see what I'm doing, and you were at the peak of your staying up super late. You'd quite often be up to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, which was when I was working. So we'd be sat, I'd be at work, and we'd just be going back and forth. You'd be up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, I'd be at my desk at work at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'd just be bashing ideas back and forth like nobody's business. Like, I did no work in that time.
I still sort of had my busted up toe sort of thing, or I was recuperating from it. So I had like so much stored energy. I was sort of like an Energizer bunny. I was like, sleep? No, that's for the week. And you know.
But yeah, so this is like probably the most creative period of time in EWA history, to be honest. Is just this fun hinged run. Like, some of the mad stuff we ended up doing with them was like amazing fun.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, hopefully that's the next match. If not, it'll be one of the next few. It's definitely the next ECW show after this one. So there can't be much between now and then. If there's anything, there can't be much. There's only like a week between the two in terms of kayfabe timeline. You know, so
honestly, I'm looking forward to the next main roster show, because if I'm looking at the time frame and everything else, the next main roster show is like my baby will finally be here.
Your baby?
Oh yes, my wonderful, beautiful baby.
We'll talk. Oh, yes, we definitely need to cover that. That might be next, actually, because I think chronologically that's first. But
yeah, it would be.
Yeah, I noticed, by the way, that you, because we commented last time when it was me versus you, me covering as Garcia, that we used the ECW arena. I've noticed you've used that arena again. I wonder if we made that a mandate before we had like an official arena. I wonder if we said, why don't we just use that arena? Like, because it says the initials that we want.
I think with ECW, it was just a simple case of it was easy. The one night stand arena that you see here, it was easy. We didn't need to do anything. The initials are right there. The thing, and again, this is early. I wasn't really confident in my creation abilities yet, so I was like gone like a week and a bit in the main roster, and I've still been, you know, like I don't want to, sort of thing. Like it's like still nervous now. Like we've addressed before, now I just spit arenas out. It's like, here's the arena. Have you play tested it?
Yeah. I'll message you like, hey, I had an idea for a show. Is this possible? And then like, the next time I check my phone, you're like, yeah, I made it, look. I'm like, oh, okay. Awesome.
It's uploaded. It's uploaded. It's been downloaded 5 times already.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, so it is possible then, because it exists. Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, way off the beaten track. But yeah, we will see you for the next one. I think it is actually going to be a main roster show now that you mentioned that, and then the one after that might be the tag match with Taylor and Garcia. So lots of fun stuff to look forward to. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of it, and all the stuff going forward after that. Drop a like on this video. Let us know you're enjoying this series, and comment your thoughts. Like, comment on the contrast between the last interference and this one. I'd love to know what people thought about how unfluid this was. And I think that's testament. I think by the time we get back up to like almost present day, there'll be such a difference between the quality of like rigged finishes to how they were back in the day. You're like, because everyone's just more practiced at them. It was a new concept to everyone. Leagues, WWE 2K leagues are competitive. Like, usually it's just like a power ranking system. You fight, and if you're the number 1 contender, you get a title shot. Like, it's very much sort of UFC or boxing rather than pro wrestling. Rather than being story driven. So I think a lot. This was a really, really new concept at the time. We didn't know of any other leagues that were doing things the way we were. I think there are some now.
Still really not.
Yeah, there might be a couple now, but it's still rarer than having an actual competitive one. And I think you kind of have one or the other usually. You either have it super competitive or it's super story driven. It's almost like an EFED rather than a league. But we have this like mix of EFED league that takes people a bit of time to get used to. So that's why it gets more fluid over time, I would say.
Like, I remember, like, you and I'd be talking, and we sort of, like, use the comment a lot, and I still sort of use it when I'm talking to people, and they're asking, how EWA works and all the rest of it. It's like, we started off trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Like, this is how leagues were done. You and I were sitting there, we're always, like we discussed in that first video we did of how we sort of came to here. We sat there and thought, this could be done in a different way.
Yeah.
Something that fit us a little more.
Yeah, we basically tried a league, got out of it, and went, well, that sucked. How can we do that different?
Yeah, basically.
you know,
These are the
and voila.
things we didn't like. Like, and we still are massive fans of professional wrestling. Yeah. Even when we weren't talking to EWA, we'd be talking about things from anything, New Japan, WWE, you know, nowadays AEW's sort of thrown in there and all the rest of it. And we always sort of like that whole, how come this element, the story element, the backstage element is missing from these things?
I was just about to mention New Japan, actually, how I think me starting watching New Japan really helped me with the telling the story in ring, because American wrestling is very much, here's a promo, here's a backstage segment, this is the story, and then the match happens. New Japan, it's here's the match and here's the story happening at the same time, and I think that is something that we really embraced in EWA of, you know, and we'll get to it I'm sure at some point in the future, but like when someone uploads a match, I'd always be in the management chat like, who's watched it, because I want to talk about this spot, because there was a spot where, just to use a really basic example, but hey, someone set up a table and then they never actually got to use it and the match ended. Can they not cut a promo saying you dodged the table but now we're going to have a table match? Like, can we not extend the feud by using the fact that the table never got used in the match? You know, like, so a story beat in the match becomes an actual story beat, you know, kind of thing. And I think that's credit to New Japan in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah. Like, we've come out with some real gold where we thought, we'll put X, Y, and Z in a match because we haven't got anything else for them, to put it bluntly. And then the match will happen, and afterwards we're like, oh, X and Y just gave us gold.
Yeah, we now have a feud for the next month. Yeah, great.
Like, I hope you two enjoyed and were able to get together easily, because now you're going to be in each other's sort of matches for a while.
Yeah.
What, you didn't like each other? That's too bad.
That's too bad. You're working together for the next month. But yeah, right, let's cut it short there. We need to get into letting people watch the next one. You know, people aren't always watching this on upload day. I imagine there's people binge watching this. Let us know in the comments if you're binge watching this entire playlist, like, because that'd be great fun to
Oh god.
like, just going through it, watching one after another, like, because that could be great fun to do. But yeah, we will see you in the next one with, like you say, Taylor's baby is going to be featured.
Bye.